Hello guys, welcome to another Source Gaming discussion. I'm Tris, and I'm joined by Nantenjex
Hello.
to discuss the news of Mario Kart coming to mobile devices.
Mm-hmm.
So, this was kind of a really surprising announcement within the last couple days.
I did forget that the investors meeting was coming up. Like, that's usually where they announce mobile games, but I was expecting one at the next investors meeting. I just didn't realise it was tomorrow. So or whenever day it was, so when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, this is random. But it being Mario Kart's wasn't that big of a surprise to me. Because
Really?
when they first announced mobile games, they're like, there are 5 mobile games coming, and we know Mario Run doesn't count as them. And my prediction was always a Mario Kart was going to be one of them. I actually said a Mario Kart was going to be their 5th mobile game, and if you count Mario Run, I was technically correct. But I always thought, because Mario Kart kind of makes sense for mobile games. I think if there's any sort of series that would translate fairly easily over to, like, just straight up as it is and straight up as a Mario Kart game, I think that would be the series that would go to mobile, because there are loads of kart-based games. Some of them good, some of them not. I know there's like a Crash Bandicoot racing game on the Android and iOS, and there's obviously Garfield Kart, the best one. There was a Konami Crazy Racers 2 on mobiles only. And I think I've seen a lot of people, and I kind of wanted to be on this discussion because I listened to the Game Explain one, I listened to Roger's Base, and I even listened to the Nintendo Beyond one just out of pure curiosity because it was like an hour long. And like they kept pointing out, like, oh, I don't understand how Mario Kart can be on mobile. Like, oh, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem to work, and I don't understand. I don't understand this sentiment because I feel like Mario Kart would work really easily. And unlike, say, Fire Emblem, which has its own unique sort of art style and stuff like that, both Animal Crossing and Mario Run basically just reuse assets from the latest title, pretty much. So I don't see why Mario Kart wouldn't do the same thing. Like, slightly more enhanced than the 3DS, but obviously less than the Mario Kart 8.
Right. Well, I guess the question with that is, so you think it would actually run pretty much exactly like other Mario Kart games? So there wouldn't be like changes to the core formula?
Well, I mean, I'll go into what I think my overall details are, but that was my opinion on their announcement and stuff. What about you, Tris?
So I actually, I remember a while back, I think it was the Washington Post or something, someone reported that the next mobile game is looking to be Zelda.
Yeah, it was.
And I remember expecting it to be that. Yeah, Wall Street Journal, that's what it was. I was, so ever since hearing that, I was expecting it to actually be Zelda when it was announced. I actually had no idea that the investors meeting was happening, or financial briefing, or whatever it was, that it was happening so soon. So I didn't actually realize we were getting announcements. Yeah. And it was, once they said like Nintendo Switch Online coming in September, I was like, okay, this thing's happening, we might get like some sort of mobile announcement. And I was expecting Zelda. And seeing Mario Kart actually really surprised me personally, because I didn't expect it to be happening anytime too soon, and I think that's because of, like, I also thought it would be coming at some point, but that might be because of I did like this whole article way back when on if Mario Kart 8 Deluxe could get DLC, and that was because I was looking at the Mario Kart formula. Typically there's like 3, maybe 4 years between each game. So I, like, in my head was thinking there wouldn't be anything Mario Kart until that much time has passed.
You see, one of the reasons I thought mobile would work really well is, because of the Mario Kart formula, and that's since essentially 64. They've gone console, handheld, console, handheld, console, handheld. They always release a big major one on the system with lots of characters and stuff, and then they release a smaller version on it on handhelds, which has a lower roster and less items, but new courses and all that still. And obviously, with the Switch coming out, it's like, does this count as a handheld or does this count as a console? It's a bit of both, but Nintendo are marketing it as a console, and it technically works as a console. So my thought was, well, if they're keeping this up, they released Mario Kart 8 on the Wii, so surely Mario Kart's next mobile adventure would be on mobile phones, and then the next one is the home console one. It really depends how full-fledged this game ends up being. Like, can it count as an actual entry in the Mario Kart series, or will it be like a spin-off? And
so, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go on.
Okay, I was gonna say, typically the way Nintendo looks at the mobile games is they try to set them apart from like the core entries to whatever series they're representing, or they're like to accompany the game in the core series. Like, I'm pretty sure there's rumblings, or they might have actually said this, of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp tying in with whatever next Animal Crossing game there is.
Yeah, they said that originally when it was first announced.
Yeah. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
So that's why I know a lot of people are wondering what this Mario Kart would actually be, because it may not be a core entry then. And I feel like when people talk about a core Mario Kart entry, they're comparing it more to, is it going to be like Mario Kart 8, 7, Wii, or is it going to be like the arcade games that are never going to get represented in the main series?
Yeah, no, I understand that feeling, and I think, see, it's weird. So that's what Nintendo originally said that they wanted their mobile games to do. They wanted to raise brand awareness of their franchises. But then when you actually look at the mobile games that they've released, the only one that really feels like that is Fire Emblem. Like, Miitomo, I guess it connects to the Tomodachi Life games, but there hasn't been a single one since then. It didn't really... I mean, it did a bit of Tomodachi Life, but there hasn't been one to promote. So what, is it just a pocket version of that? I guess so. But fine. But then you get Mario Run, and Mario Run doesn't really feel like it's promoting... I mean, it is obviously just by existing, it's raising awareness of the brand. But it's not like it's promoting a proper new Super Mario Brothers game. It feels like its own sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like its own sort of entity. And then Fire Emblem comes along, and Fire Emblem does feel like it's representing the games, because it's the same sort of formula, it's the same idea, but much more simplified. You, rather than have an army, you only have a small team of 4 units, and the max that certain characters can move up to is 3 instead of like 9 or 11 or whatever it is in the series. Like, it feels like a smaller version of Fire Emblem that keeps all the same sort of feeling. And like Animal Crossing does to sort of the same extent. You're running around, you're doing the same sort of tasks for villagers, you just don't have your own village anymore. You just have a campsite.
Yeah.
And like, so those two games feel like it, but Mario Run doesn't, obviously, and so and Miitomo kind of does in the middle. So it can go either way with Mario Kart. And I think for me, there are like 3 ways that they'll do this. I think there are 3 possibilities for how they'll go about making this Mario Kart game. And the first of them is they'll kind of go the Super Mario Run route. They'll try that again, where they like release the app, and maybe, let's say, you can do the first cup for free, and you can play as either Mario, Luigi, Peach, or Toad. And then once you've done that, you can either just keep replaying the first cup, or you buy the full game, and then you can play all of the cup, like everything. But it's a one-time purchase, just like Mario Run was, and you basically get a full-out Mario Kart mobile game from it. Then the other way is that it's just a straight-up free-to-play. The same thing, you can go there, but rather than buy all of the whole game, you can just buy like your cups or your characters or stuff like that, and you can just pick and choose what you want and play the game like that. Or it's completely free-to-play, but they have to limit how... If they do it free-to-play, they obviously need to add a way that they can make money from it still. And so that means they have to limit... They have to make it enticing for people to buy, but they can't lock content off. So, like, technically, in Fire Emblem Heroes, you can do, and Animal Crossing, you can do anything in the game. But your two hindrances are, you have to wait on time, and it's a grind to get everything. You can get everything with in-game currency, but it's quicker to just pay money.
Yeah, that's actually what I think they're going to do.
And it's finding out, though, what do you do in Mario Kart? I've seen some people jokingly throw the idea of a gacha game where there's just like 1,000 different races, but I don't think that's going to be the case, as much as I think it'd be great. I feel like... I
would love that, but no.
Yeah. I think what my idea is going to be is that the whole idea is that you'll start the game off with just Mario. Mario is all you'll start with. And... You'll start off with one cart, and unlike regular Mario Karts where you can pick and choose between them, this cart is your cart, and what you can do is the customization of it. So it starts off fairly standard, but you can race, get money from the races, and then use that money to buy better parts for your cart. And so you can pay for better wheels that make you go faster, pay for better frames and stuff like this, all using in-game currency. And perhaps even that's how you unlock the characters. So like Mario's the standard character, but if you wanted a heavier character that, you know, decreased acceleration, increased acceleration, decrease. No, it's the other way around.
Less acceleration, higher speed.
Yes. So if you wanted a character like that, then you could save up enough money and buy Wario to use and stuff. And then the tracks are just all available. Like you do Mushroom Cup, you unlock Flower Cup, and they can keep adding to it. They can just keep adding. They could bring in tracks from other games and older games rather than making new ones and just keep constantly updating the game. And I think that would get people into it, because the bigger you can get money because of your car, and you need to upgrade your car in order to win. That's the only issue with it. They'll have to put some sort of limiter on it, where if you're doing later cups and your car is still in the basic form, then you're just gonna lose. You just got no chance of winning. So you have to be motivated to upgrade your cart.
So with the whole upgrade system you're talking about, I actually think it would be pretty much the same way in terms of like it's the cart related aspects that you use in-game money, like the coins or unlock, kind of like what you see in Mario Kart 7 and 8 and 8 Deluxe by extension. But what I was thinking with that actually is it's not a matter of obviously getting better cart parts, it's just a matter of getting any. So any cart parts, kind of like how normally in Mario Kart 8, like you unlock them randomly at every coin milestone. Except in this case, there's a shop, and you buy them at certain coin milestones, which you can either add to with existing funds, or so like actual money, or just rack up in-game currency. And that could be either to randomly unlock cart parts, or buy specific ones, or even like cart customize. There's just generic customization that's more just for show rather than actually for mechanical or stat purposes. Cosmetics, that's what I was looking for.
Okay.
Basically. So that'd be more like to show off, kind of like I guess in Miitomo, like changing the Mii's clothes kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So whether it's cosmetics or mechanical purposes, but I think all the in-game funds or actual money would go towards cart-related things, and then the actual unlockables and also updates throughout the game, its lifespan would be through characters.
Yeah, and maybe like I reckon that whether or not they keep adding characters, although I think they should. But it'll be a lot slower. It's not going to be like Fire Emblem where there's a million characters. It's going to be like it's going to be. I reckon it'll be more on the cart part. But I've seen people throw around other ideas that maybe it's you bet. I know Roger's base idea was that you bet on like who you think's going to win the race. It's kind of like that. So you look at who's racing and you like. I guess you can upgrade their carts, but you don't actually play as them. And his argument for this was that Nintendo have been trying to make one-touch games, and he doesn't think you can play Mario Kart. But I disagree, and I've got a good reason for what I think they're going to do with this racing. So everyone kind of gets that. Okay, to turn you'd have to turn the phone itself. That's like how every single racing game on mobile phones work, right?
Right.
But Nintendo want to keep it simple, so they're going to make it so you can do that, and they're going to have a button. Let's say in the top right corner, that's the item button. So you can just tap it with your phone, like just hold your smartphone in one hand, and so that you can turn it, and then just have with your right hand in the top right corner, just like tapping the racing, like whatever would be the item button, like holding it widescreen, and then like in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe added two things to make the game easier: the ability to not fall off ledges, and the ability to just automatically have your car go forward. And I think that maybe not the first one, because maybe that'll make it too easy. But the second one, your car's just going to auto-drive, basically. And you're going to be able to steer, you're going to be able to throw items, you're going to be able to drift if you steer enough to either side. Or maybe if you hold down on the touchscreen, you'll drift. I don't know how they're going to do it. But that's how they'll make this Mario Kart play. You won't be controlling the speed yourself, it'll all be auto-drifting, and the amount of acceleration and speed you get will be based on your kart and character. And that way, you can still play Mario Kart with one hand, because unless you have a tablet or a massive phone, then you can hold it. Most people can hold their phone in one hand, and it still kind of fits that simple, and it's still simplified Mario Kart, like because you don't have control over the speed, because you don't have control over stuff like acceleration. All you're doing is steering and throwing items. It doesn't quite capture the same feeling as playing Mario Kart on the big screen. But it still feels like Mario Kart. And that's exactly what Fire Emblem and that's exactly what Animal Crossing have been doing. So
yeah, it's definitely a smart way to look at it.
Yeah, so that's what I feel like they're going to go ahead with this Mario Kart, and it'll have all the characters from all the basic characters like Mario, all the original 8 from Mario Kart 64, and then Koopa Troopa, Daisy, Waluigi, Rosalina, and then maybe they'll have some new characters. Maybe they'll have Pauline. Maybe they'll have Boom Boom. Or Cappy, or the Sprixie Princess. I don't know. And
or medals of every character.
if the game does well, they'll update it with. They'll have free updates which add more levels and add more. More characters that you'll have to purchase with the in-game coins. I reckon actually, although I'd much rather you be able to choose, I reckon they could do it via a loot box type system. Where you just buy the parts and you don't know what part you're getting, because that kind of it makes people want to do it more, and like because you don't know what sort of part you're going to get, you have to plan around the parts you're getting, and that can either either allow people to breeze through the game or slow down and have to grind through the game. And I know what people feel like with loot boxes. My personal stance is that as long as it's in a game that was free. And it doesn't dramatically make like people who spend more money are instantly better, then I'm okay. Then I'm okay with it. Then it's just a functionality. But
yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there for this discussion, because I was hearing everyone else being like, I don't understand how Mario Kart can work, and all this time I've been like, it's so obvious.
No, that's a really good way to look at it, actually, and I didn't even think of it in the terms with the smart steering and auto accelerate. Those are actually features that would work well in this. I actually feel like some of the approach they could take, because in my time in Japan, I spent so much time playing the Mario Kart Arcade GP DX and the arcades, and I love the way they handle that, actually, because those are from, like, I think a year before Mario Kart 8 originally released, and it's still getting updates. Like, I think around Halloween, they did a Halloween event where if you have King Boo, and if you play and win 3 races as King Boo, you get, or maybe it was 3 Grand Prix, but you get to fully unlock him on your account then.
That's cool.
And
I remember when I was out there, they had added
is
when they announced Daisy for the roster.
Yeah. That kind of event system, one reminds me a little bit of like the kind of events they did for Mario Run, Fire Emblem, Animal Crossing, Pocket Camp. So I feel like they could keep that kind of system in just to kind of keep adding things. I don't know about courses, but definitely like characters, new like cart parts, things like that.
Yeah, no, I think themed matches. I think missions as well. I mean, this could be the return of some sort of mission mode, because that's obviously a part of like every single mobile game. So there's no way Mario Kart's not going to have it. So yeah, I think mission modes and stuff like that could come back, and it'd be good to have seasonal stuff. I could see them, around Halloween they add King Boo in, and around Easter they add like the Broodals in or something. So
something like that.
Yeah, so I think that could work well. I mean, do you have any thoughts on any ideas or anything like that you think they might go for with this?
You actually nailed most of what I was thinking, and then I pretty much everything I've added on since is pretty much how I see it. I do want to ask though, do you think there's more meaning behind the name Tour?
Yeah, that's something I was thinking of, because that's the other way to look at things, right? What does the name mean? And a tour, I was trying to look it up and I wasn't really coming to any sort of thing. Like, a tour is generally just another word for race, like Tour de France, of race of France. And like, you can go on a world championship racing tour, and it's just, although that sounds redundant when I think of it like that, but like, world match racing tour is a thing. And I think I was just trying to think. The only thing I could think of is maybe they're going to, the big pull of this game is going to be meeting up with other people with your mobile phones, or going to specific spots, kind of like Pokemon Go, and participating in racing challenges somehow. I'm not really sure. Although, I mean, a tour is just, like I said, a term in racing, so it might just be we haven't used this yet.
Yeah,
so we can just
possible.
throw it on there. But I mean, yeah, that if other people who are trying to theorize how they might go about making this game, focusing on the name is and trying to figure out, what the common connection of a tour is in racing terms might work.
Right. But I hear a lot of people thinking they might tie like GPS into this, kind of like how Pokemon Go has it. Not necessarily to that degree, but I know some people. There's some what I think are some outlandish ideas that maybe it'll like pull like your GPS map and it'll form a course out of it. And I'm just thinking, I feel like that'd be really, really hard on processing power and battery life on phones.
That'd
to
be
do something like that.
Yeah, that'd be in. I mean, if
you would need like the newest models.
Yeah, no, I think that would be a bit difficult, but it'd be a cool feature if it just took like kind of Google Maps and then you just added a Mario aesthetic over it and let you drive in that course. That'd be pretty fun. One feature that I do think they will 100% have is that you'll be able to race via like a sort of time trial, and it will save a ghost data, and then you can go into like an arena racetrack or whatever and just race strangers' ghost data.
Yeah,
and try and beat it for more coins or something like that. Like that seems like
that could work.
Like 'cause Fire Emblem does its kind of PvP in quotation marks by just having you select a team and then the AI just plays your team, and people can just go into the arena and fight people's teams. And this would feel more like you did something because it's recording exactly how you did the race.
Right.
And then someone else is racing your time like it does in Mario Kart normally. And that seems like a really easy thing to just put on a server and have people download to try out.
Yeah, I think that could work out pretty easily.
I
know. I almost feel certain there will be complaints when this releases and there's no battle mode, because I cannot see a battle mode for this. I don't think it would work.
I don't think battle mode will work. I think this is gonna be simple. Like a lot of people have said, they still want people to buy their main console games.
Yes.
So this is still going to be just a simpler version of Mario Kart, but it's still going to feel like Mario Kart, which is why I don't think it can be anything other than racing people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's all. That's everything I guess I had to say. I think the main Mario Kart team has probably been working on this since maybe a small team has been working on this since Mario Kart 8 finished. I mean, when did I'm just trying to think when mobile games started. It was like a year. It was like 2015, wasn't it, when they announced their first mobile game?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. So
it was like 2015. It released 2016. I think it was Miitomo.
It was Miitomo, and I mean that was Mario Kart. They had announced 5 games at that point, and Mario Kart's clearly one of them. So I could have seen this being in development. Well, it would have been in development for like 3 years then. Probably a small team. I imagine they.
I think also keep in mind I believe it was most of the Mario Kart team that worked on ARMS as well. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They were probably working on it because I don't think I know a lot of people have been saying DNA have been working on the games, but I don't think it's just DNA. It's clearly other. And Miitomo definitely had people on the Tomodachi Life team. We know Fire Emblem has people from Intelligent Systems working on it.
Right.
I'm sure, and Animal Crossing probably had people from the Animal Crossing team. So there's probably people from the proper Mario team on there.
Yeah, and I think that makes a lot of sense given how lately most of the Mario Kart team is probably working on ARMS. So it was probably easy for like a smaller part of the team to work on this at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, well I think that's all my thoughts on Mario Kart Tour.
I think that's mostly mine too. I'm mostly just really excited for it. I had the initial hype at seeing Mario Kart because I think the hype leading up to the original Mario Kart 8 was probably equal to my hype for Smash originally. So Mario Kart's one of my favorite game series.
I love Mario Kart. I want to see them. What I want is however style they've gone for, to have new tracks and some new characters. Like I'm gonna treat this in the same way I think I'd treat a proper Mario Kart game. I don't want to just see reused stuff and the generic 8 characters and that's it. I want to see actually new content, even if I have to grind coins to buy it, because I will put all my money towards buying the new characters instead of.
Oh yes. Well, that about wraps this discussion up. So, what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, you can find our social media links in the description below. And as all of us here at Source Gaming have been saying lately, remember to always return to the source.
Yeah, return to the source.